So it is only now that a lawmaker can legitimately defect, and they will say, okay, yes, there are factions in the PDP.
Nice being here again. Good morning, Tebe, my colleagues. Good morning, dear listener. In government, the elementary government I studied, they say the lawmakers make the laws, the executive execute, then the judiciary interprets the law. I think most of our challenges has to do with what the interpretation of the judiciary has been over the years, and how the pronouncement or judgment or ruling have been carried to the letter. There's litany of litigations in the court over defection of lawmakers, of members to one party to the other. What has been the outcome, except for this one you mentioned, the judge saying that the lawmaker loses his seat for defecting. There are, for my little understanding, when you say a party has crisis, according to the definition that you just gave, there must be
factions. It's not my definition. It's a Supreme Court judgment. It's not my definition.
There should be a faction spelled out.
Yes.
For the first instance, the Damagun group suspended Anyanwu and two others, the national legal advisor and one other person. And instead of the Anyanwu to go on suspension, he turned back to suspend the acting national chairman and others. That is an aberration. The acting national chairman is the leader of the party. And
the acting national chairman.
Yeah.
They have a substantive chairman.
You know,
Damagun is a substantive
chairman. Substantive chairman, I mean to say. So a leader should be a leader, respected all around. So it shows, number one, that Anyanwu has not respected his leader. Two, that he has ulterior motive. It is come out glaring, because if you follow by the precedent, the first suspension came from Damagun. That is number one. If you go to court of law, they say who first suspended who. Is Damagun that first suspended three persons before Anyanwu came back to say, I'm not going on suspension, you are suspended. Now that is one form of crisis.
It's very possible. It's very possible that the Anyanwu group you are making reference to now, others in his camp were not suspended.
No, the national legal advisor, Anyanwu,
and not only the suspended people that are in his camp, it's also possible that those who were not suspended are in his camp. So they formed their own faction, and eventually, they appointed a...
For our own understanding, is it a faction yet? Because Damagun is still there. He's still in the office. He's a national chairman. Is the factional leader Anaba Anyanwu occupying the PDP office? So I'm looking at the basis for defection now. For the basis for defection, internal crisis of a political party, I don't think is enough for a lawmaker to defect. Because as Kunle has said,
it's a provision in the Constitution. The Constitution is clear. The lawmaker
before now,
once there is crisis,
the defection of the Enugu State Governor, defection of the other person, and the resignation. Yes, has that been an acting or a factional party leader?
That's what I'm saying. That as at the time they defected, there were no factions in the way the Supreme Court has defined.
So did they approach the court over those defections? Yes. And what is the court of law saying? So I think the judiciary is a major problem we have. I think they need to sit up and interpret these things very well for...
But Abulu, the court is not for that Christmas. Mm-hmm. If nobody approaches the court with those...
I just said they've approached the court. There's litany of litigation.
In this case of Zamfara, when the lawmaker defected, I think the seat was declared vacant, or something, and they were challenging. They went to court. The party, when he defected, the PDP chairman and PDP ESCO in Zamfara went to court, and they now secured this judgment that declared that seat vacant and ordered INEC to conduct elections by elections in 30 days. So if nobody goes to court, you can't sit and say, okay, Governor Delta, Governor Akwa, Governor Bayaza have defected on the lawmakers until you go to court.
The judiciary will not rule on something that is not before.
So it beholds on the PDP that has been sitting and folding his arms and looking at his people, Labour Party,
which is the